Hello, it's me again. I'm back with my second video. I have the speakers and stereo system installed in my bike now. It's all finished. Speakers are inside their housings where they belong. The radio's mounted, antenna's mounted, and it works well. I'll show you later in this video and let you hear it. Now, as I said when I first started in the first video, I don't know if you heard it, the original system was Rumble speakers, I believe they're referred to, from MH Industries. You might recognize them from different commercials and different things on the internet, their Rumble speaker design. I thought this was probably the biggest piece of crap for stereo I could ever bought. I didn't realize when I bought it I wouldn't have. The reviews, I think maybe the company did the reviews themselves to give themselves good ratings so people buy these things. Rumble speakers makes two different systems. Using the same pods, they come in chrome or black. They either have the amp inside the speaker, in the back of it, or non-amplified speakers. Now, the ones in the back are the ones I bought originally. I had nothing but trouble with these things. I think the main problem was that they're IC chips inside those housings. They're the IC chip amp, which most amps nowadays are. And that's fine, but an IC chip, the amp is going to get warm. It needs air. There's no breathing inside these units. The only breathing might be the little hole in the bottom that both the wires run through. Now, maybe if you bought the ones that were non-amplified and put your own amplifier with it, as I did in this system myself, I put my own amplifier on it, it might be fine. You're still working with stereo speakers that aren't very good. They use RCA stereo speakers. And I'm sure those are okay, but I paid $400 for the Rumble speaker system to begin with. I would have expected a little higher quality speaker in there than an RCA speaker. I mean, they could have threw a Pioneer or Kenwood in there. I mean, for $400, I should have got an Alpine. Infinity, something like that. Those were all good speakers. I never had good luck with RCAs. They don't have the sound quality. Now, I bought Panasonics to replace them because I was a little low on money, and I gotta say, for inexpensive, for $30, I think it cost me for the set of speakers, 4-inch speakers, they work very well. They sound pretty good. Now, the original system, as it was, like I said, had IC chips for the amps and they got hot. Now, I had my father, he's an electrical technician. When those amps burned out the first time, I bought the IC chips and stuff, and he replaced it all for me. And did an excellent job. And they lasted for a while, and all of a sudden another one went off in the heat. And he even put heat sink in them. And as far as I know, and I understand, heat sink, I'm not an expert on this, but heat sink is some kind of paste you put on it, I guess. I believe that's what he told me. That helps dissipate the heat to the amp or electronics. Originally, Rumble speakers didn't even have heat sink in there. So they lasted even less time because there's nothing in there to dissipate the heat. Pay $400 for a system, and you get a bad, you don't even get a good system out of it. So I think MH Industries ought to be ashamed of themselves. I think their stereo system ought to be put down to maybe around $50, or the cost of the light pods. Now, I said earlier in my first video, the speaker pods themselves, these speaker pods, come in black or chrome. These right here, these lovely looking things, are these. Auxiliary lighting from Harley Davidson uses them. I believe a lot of other bikes use these. So basically what I paid for was probably a set of, I don't know how much they cost, $50 lights maybe, or $100 from Harley, or you could buy ones like these on the internet on an off-road store. Similar, the only difference is instead of the wire coming off the bottom of the bolt, it comes out of the back of the housing. Well, whoop-de-doo. I could run a wire out of the back of a housing and it looks fine. I can buy those for $25–30. Then they put a pair of cheap RCA speakers in it, put an IC chip on. I bought a whole bag of those IC chips, I think for $2 or $3, and all the parts to replace it in the board. I could have built them myself with a soldering iron or with a print. My father could have built them for next to nothing for the amp. Then they get a little piece of grill and they paint it or leave it chrome, and there's your speaker pods. Well, I could have made my own set of these things without an amplifier for less than $100 off the internet. course, I didn't realize that at the time when I bought them. I wouldn't have bought them in the first place. In the first video, you saw my amplifier, which you can't see now, is underneath my seat, mounted inside a system next to the ground bolts. Works really good. Again, I'll show you either in this video or the next video. It all depends how much time I have running left here. I just wanted people to understand that and know that before they buy these rumble speakers systems with the amps inside the housings, to understand they're not going to last for long. They're going to burn up eventually. They have no way of not burning up. There's no air getting to those things. Leaves the amp underneath my bike, and the seat has holes inside the frame rail, the framing system of the bike, to cool the amp down. There's also plenty of space around to cool. It's a little amplifier bought off eBay. I cut the sides, ground them down, mounted them. Showed you in the last video. These two little screws hold that amp in. Right here. 1, 2. That's what holds those things in there. That amp. You saw in the other video if you got to watch it. If not, I hope you can. Get a chance to watch it. I ran them up all the original wiring harness. Came out here, I put them on top of this wiring harness, wrapped them, ran them up to the bike, mounted the stereo, which is right there, which I also got off eBay. Came from Hong Kong, like the amp, different seller. Got a bad little radio. I like the way it sounds. I'm very impressed with it. Very impressed with it. I just put it on, so I hope it lasts a while. I'll do updated videos in increments of, probably 6 months to a year and let you know how it's doing, or at least after the season let you know how the stereo's doing, if it's handling up. But you're kind of limited on what you can buy for amplifiers and stuff that you can put on that'll fit in a bike and fit nicely. I mean, I've seen videos where people put them inside their saddle, their bags, fork bags, like one of these little bags right here. But I myself don't want to put one in there. I mean, you got an amp bouncing around your bag, and a wire leading to a bag. Well, that looks really nice. That's my opinion. You all have your own. I'm not trying to just diss on anyone who has put one in a bag. If it works, it works. Hey, more power to you. As you can see, since the bike was last, it was all tore apart. I got it all back together now. I had a couple friends come over, one last night and one today, and they were nice enough to give their time to help me polish this bike up, do the leather work, saddlebags, and put it back together. I started this thing on Tuesday, and it's now Sunday night. Took me a little while, but I did it right, I believe. It looks nice. It sounds good. And I'm very pleased with it. So I'd like to thank Art and Franklin for giving me a hand putting that back together. I'd also like to thank my father for being there to tell me how to go about wiring things properly. I'm no expert. He is. Very, very handy to have around. He knows what he's doing when it comes to electronics. It's like my own little guru, if you'll say. He's not feeling very well right now, which I know none of you know him, but I'd let you know that. But yeah, he still was able to come out and help me with a few things. I'm running out of time on this video, I believe. So the third video installment will be there to show you what the stereo sounds like. But like I wanted to say, thank you to my friends who helped me, and my father who taught me how to wire things, actually. I mean, I'll never be like he is with it, but he still taught me how to do some of these things, and it really comes out handy for me. He also helped me finish up the tank, and he just got out of the hospital a little bit ago. So for somebody that just got out of the hospital to give you a hand with something like this who's not feeling well is lots of thanks there. I had to polish the tank out. I'll tell a little more about that in the next video. Thank you.